this statement. They said, now, here in America, you need not have a reason. Stealing itself is wrong. And I continue to reflect over it, and I said, when a man does not commit adultery simply because he's a Christian, I know there's something wrong. This is my own thinking. But because the Lord has purged my life. If it is because of Christianity, some dwells, so that young man was humiliating the young man. If you want to be young man, if you want to be ordinarily casual. So in the second encounter phase, Jesus said to him, now if you want to be perfect. You know the Bible says, be perfect. Why? Because your Father in heaven is perfect. So it's not about avoiding to doing this or that or the other. I teach ethics, and each time I get to class, I tell my students the meaning of ethics is not why. Ethics is about being. You are not a human doing, but you are a human being. So it's not about things. But men who have risen above this ordinary nature of life and have entered into the state of being, wherever they are, they manifest what they are. But if you are not what you claim to be, as soon as opportunity presents itself, the real you will manifest. And in Africa, we are full of this. You want me? Do you know me? Do you know me? I will show you my true colors today. When people speak like that, and when this is what Jesus is addressing in this young man's life. And in the end, what is it all about? You know that it is material possessions. Because the Bible says, at the end of it, what happened? The young man went away sad. Sad. Because he had great wealth. Remember that wealth is not sin. There's this old-time teaching that made us in church believe that if you're a poor man, you're a candidate for heaven. And we all believed it as little children. We shunned hard work and labor in order to be rich, because we are told that every rich man is going to hell. But I read in the Bible and discovered that a man's rich do not necessarily, are used in describing the man. One's house. Those were the things that described the man. His riches, his fashion, and party. There was also that poor man called Lazarus. Of course, the man was also poor, nothing to eat, desired that people should serve him. Then the Bible says that the rich man died. He found himself in hell. And I love that passage because the Bible says the rich man lifted up his eyes. And I was asking, lifted them from what? Lifted them from the material possessions that had so entered his mind, and he could not lift them to look at any other provision. Here was a man divinely put in place to be of great assistance to another man. I read that passage. I tried to find out, why did this man go to hell? I discovered that he didn't commit any sin. Nothing was recorded against him. So I asked, why did he still go to hell? Simply because the divine location that God gave him, that put him into, was never utilized correctly. Of course, he didn't go to hell because he was rich. Of course, a man's blessing sometimes can become a distraction to him. That God has blessed you does not mean he has anointed you for eternity. So men have been blessed. This rich young man we're talking about, he also had all that any young man would look for. And then he discovered more to it. So in the end, what is Oga saying to this man? Manifested. In other words, while they were following Jesus, they were anticipating